state spent tens of billions of dollars, and this city, on bullet trains to the middle of nowhere. I mean, they're over budget by 50, 60 billion dollars that are only maybe 10 or 15% built, that are 15 years away. By the time these trains are built, we'll have autonomous vehicles. We won't even be using these trains. We could have spent that money if we had focused. I mean, I donated $100,000 today to the LA Fire Department and Police Department in an effort to try to get more attention to what matters. And is $100,000 going to move the needle on $1 billion budget? Of course not. But we should be focused on the things that protect us.
I'm John Pienaar. This is Pienaar and Friends. That's Kate McCann, our political editor, and Adam Bolton. So, something like 2,000 homes have been completely destroyed in those fires in Los Angeles County, California. 90,000 people still under evacuation orders. Now, earlier, the LA District Attorney spoke at a news conference where he explained some people were taking advantage of that situation.
With firefighters literally putting their lives on the line to save lives and to save homes, with law enforcement working around the clock to keep security at a high level, with over 200,000 people evacuated, and I'm one of them, and with people who have lost lives, lost homes, lost businesses, there are still people in our community who, rather than saying thank you, look at this as an opportunity to commit crime and to take illegal profit and advantage over the situation. Because we have been seeing price gouging with hotels, people offering residences well above the 10% addition that they can charge. We've seen that with medical supplies. So the criminals have decided that this is an opportunity, and I'm here to tell you that this is not an opportunity. You will be arrested, you will be prosecuted, and you will be punished to the full extent of the law.
So we talked about the looting going on in Los Angeles while those fires are raging, and now we're talking and hearing there from the LA District Attorney about price gouging, people taking advantage of those who've been left without a home, needing somewhere to stay. Jason Oppenheim is now with us. He's an estate agent, and he's also, many of you, I guess, will know, the star of the reality show Selling Sunset. Hello to you, Jason.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us, Jason. Just that account of people profiteering from people who are without a home because their home has burned down. It's an ugly story, Jason.
Yeah, listen, I have a lot of admiration for Nathan Hochman, our district attorney. I helped support his candidacy. He's exactly the person that we need right now. And, listen, I don't want people to get the wrong idea. Most Angelenos are stepping forward and doing the right thing. Most landlords are stepping forward and doing the right thing. I'm getting dozens of calls from people trying to figure out how they can offer support, but we are absolutely running into difficulties. We offered to represent those affected by the fires for free, and since then we've had dozens and dozens of people reach out who lost their home, who are in hotels, who are staying with friends or family, but who need to find housing. And right now, they want to find housing near the communities where they grew up, near the Palisades, for example. So they're looking in Brentwood and Santa Monica. And some of those landlords are trying to take advantage of the situation. So that's why I'm doing a lot of press, I want them to understand that they're not going to get away with it, and they need to understand their responsibilities. No one should be profiteering right now. And we're having to offer 50% more in some cases over what people are asking, over market value. In order to get our clients placed into housing, and that's not appropriate.
Right. I mean, look, you're a businessman and quite a successful one, and quite a famous one, and you're offering what looks like a social service, finding accommodation for people without a home to move into, hotels, private accommodation. And is that pretty much consuming all the efforts of your business now, Jason?
Yes, it is. Most of the agents have already reached out to me directly and offered to help take, some of the weight off of our plate. But our staff is all hands on deck. The agents are all hands on deck. This has been one of the busiest weeks of my life, and I'm happy to do it. I think the real estate community it really has a spotlight on us, and we really have a chance to give back to the the people who are our clients and our friends. I mean, many real estate agents have directly lost their homes. Many of us have had to evacuate. But I'm really proud of this community. You know, so many of us are willing to credit our commission back. So many of us are working so hard to help. You know, we sold these houses to these people, and it's now our responsibility to help them find new ones. And I think a lot of us have stepped up. We're doing a donation drive at the Oppenheim Group on Thursday. So many other brokerages have stepped up to do the same type of thing. So, you know, I am proud of the community, and this is our time, you know, as it is so many people's time.
All right. Now, here with me in the studio, Jason, I've got Adam Bolton, I've got Kate McCann, who also happens to be a particular fan of your show. But Adam, you're keen to...
Yeah, I just wondered, I know it's early and fires are still burning, but you're an expert in this area. How do you view the prospects for reconstruction?
That's such a good question because it's complicated. You know, you've got many people who weren't insured, unfortunately. You know, the California was not allowing insurance companies to raise rates, so many of them simply left. And the California Fair Plan, which is the automatic insurance that you can get through California, it stops coverage at $3 million. So most of these homes that burnt down weren't able to avail themselves of that insurance. But so putting aside the people that weren't covered, the people that were insured, some of the younger people, you know, that can tackle the 3-year process to rebuild, yeah, they're going to do it because they love their community and they want to stay in their community. Many of the older people, you know, maybe in their 60s or 70s or 80s, they don't want to take on that overwhelming project of a 3-year construction build. And you know what? They shouldn't. You know, they're nurses or dentists or, you know, they're not contractors. And I've tried to build a home. I mean, I don't even encourage people to do that. And so I think what's going to happen is a lot of developers are going to come in, hopefully pay fair and adequate pricing for the land, and then develop these areas better than they ever were, you know, but it's going to be a difficult 5 to 7 year process.
Yeah. Kate McCann.
Jason, you are an expert in this particular area, and I mean geographically. Do you think enough consideration was given originally to the materials that these homes were built out of and the way that the landscaping was done, given that, you know, it is an area where this could happen? And now we've seen the level of devastation. There is material that can be used to build homes, which is at least fire resistant. Why was more not done before?
It's a good question because I think that you know, I think our priorities could have been more directed towards the things that mattered. You know, we have such an abundance of bureaucratic codes when you're building, but so many of them are dumb or focused on, you know, some ridiculous wildlife or recirculation of water, which fine. I mean, these are not to be ignored, but why were we not requiring fire suppressant technology for homes that were built in fire zones rather than having them, you know, recirculate their lawn water? I really think that we had air conditioning units that were sucking in embers that caused so many of these fires that should have had, you know, been able to reverse the system to blow air out, or roofs that had holes, which all of our roofs do, you know, for intake and extake, you know, and drainage and of air and our pipes, and we didn't have screens on them. I don't want to add more bureaucracy to building because we have too much. We already have developers not wanting to build in Los Angeles. So I would like to cut out 30% of the stupidity that we require that's so expensive and focus on what matters, like, yes, fire suppressant technology. And honestly, I think we're going to have good drone technology soon, where people can have maybe a drone and a hose connected to it that's in the, you know, they can be dropped into the pool. I mean, we'll have that in 5 to 10 years. I want to be smart about it. We can't be bureaucratic about it.
Jason, I mean, over these last days, I've been speaking to a few local politicians, I mean, councilmen and councilwomen from Los Angeles County, spoken to some state legislators, and they have been unhappy with the way this disaster has been drawn into the arena of national politics. I'm thinking obviously about attacks from people like President-elect Donald Trump, the attacks on Governor Newsom and on Mayor Bass. What are your feelings about that? Do you share any of that unhappiness? What are your thoughts?
I have a myriad of different thoughts on this because it's not in my opinion, the time to be, pointing fingers and being divisive. But at the same time, I think that we do need to reflect and learn. And I think that we did make mistakes. This state spent tens of billions of dollars, and this city, on, bullet trains to the middle of nowhere. I mean, they're over budget by 50, 60 billion dollars that are only maybe 10 or 15% built, that are 15 years away. By the time these trains are built, we'll have autonomous vehicles. We won't even be using these trains. We could have spent that money if we had focused. I mean, I donated $100,000 today to the LA Fire Department and Police Department in an effort to try to get more attention to what matters. And, is $100,000 going to move the needle on $1 billion budget? Of course not. But we should be focused on the things that protect us. Our fire department protects us from natural disaster. Our police department, it protects us from criminals who take advantage. Why are we not funding? There was a movement to defund these departments. Why are we spending billions of dollars on trains that we'll never use and not even funding the most critical departments in our infrastructure and in our city? I don't understand it. So, yeah, without being political, I think we need to hopefully learn. I credit Governor Newsom. He did offer a executive order helping to expedite some of the reconstruction, and there are efforts, I think, to help these people. But God, so much more can be done, and so much more could have been done, unfortunately.
All right, Jason, really good to get your thoughts. Thank you for joining us on the program at a difficult time. Jason Oppenheim there, who is the host of Selling Sunset. Now, more coming up in a moment. We're going to stay with American politics. Inauguration Day coming up on January the 20th, and there's quite a dust up having developed in the inner Trump circle, the MAGA inner circle. I want to get your thoughts on that, Adam and Kate, and yours too. Tell me what you're thinking. Send me a text, send me a tweet here on Pinar and Friends.